the Powerpuff Girls movie. This movie is an interesting movie. I'm reviewing this because I reviewed the original series and I wanted to review this movie, especially since there's a new comic coming out and I wanted to talk about some Powerpuff Girls related media. I'm not going to do the 2016 reboot because I don't fucking hate myself. And I'm not going to sit through hours of torture just to make a fucking video for you guys. But yeah, I really like the Powerpuff Girls series. If you didn't watch that review, it's a great show, right? But I mentioned in that review that my first exposure to the Powerpuff Girls was this movie, and I think I saw it on YouTube actually, and I honestly loved this movie, and I think I still do, though I definitely see a lot more of its flaws. Though I do think this is one of the greatest cartoon to movies there's ever been. It's not as good as the South Park movie. It's not as good as the Simpsons movie or the Bob's Burgers movie even. Like some of the more adult animated shows, maybe not so much. But this movie, I think, is better than those movies. Actually, we'll take the South Park movie out of that, but sentence. But I think it's better than the Simpsons movie and the Bob's Burgers movie at just playing around and doing new things with its series, right? Because there are so many cinematic creative shots that the filmmakers were trying. Like, they really tried to make this a movie. Where most of these movies turned into shows of this era, where this was happening a lot, didn't really do that much. They really just were the show with the high budget. In some ways that worked, like the Rugrats movies. The first two are great movies. Like I mentioned, Simpsons, South Park, all that stuff. But this movie did play a lot around with some of the cinematography, made some incredible sequences. And it's also just got a great heart to it. They really picked a great idea, which is just show the girl's origin. And it really worked, even though the movie wasn't perfect. Especially since the origin in the show was always weird because they showed it like from multiple different perspectives and multiple points, and they played around with that, so it's kind of weird to see it in this movie told a little bit differently than even in the show, but still, it's still great. The girls and the professor's relationship being at the heart of the movie, which is just really great. And yeah, I think the movie, though, I think my biggest problem with this movie is the first half of this movie is the worst half, where like you got this long sequence of the girls playing tag and doing all this destruction, and it was just like, wait, like, huh? Like because the sequence like is important to the narrative, but it goes on too fucking long. Like, and I think it was just a lot of the filmmakers were like, well, we could play around and do all these things. Yeah, you could, but like, that's one of the times where it didn't work, where some of the other creative shots and the sequences with all the apes and the different colors they choose, different stuff that they do with this movie is really cool. But that was the one time where I was like, all right, you shouldn't be going on this long. This is not a great idea. But I don't know. I still love this movie. I think it's really great. And if you love the Powerpuff Girls, yeah, it's just a great movie. And I love it. Let me know your thoughts. Like, share, and subscribe.